court, the prosecution continued its cross-examination of City Harvest Church's Deputy Senior Pastor Tan Yi Peng. The prosecution questioned Tan on the people who were aware that Extron was set up as a special purpose vehicle to manage the crossover project for the church. Tan told the court that in a meeting in 2003, Auditor Fung Dao Cheng was told that Extron was managing San Ho and that the crossover project was a church mission. Fung also understood that the church had to be discreet in the crossover project, especially in the aftermath of the Roland Poon incident. CAC's board members would also have been made aware that Extron was set up to manage Ho. The prosecutor attempted to establish that the auditors, church board and executive members did not know about the dual purpose of the Extron and Ferna bonds. Tan agreed with the prosecution that the bonds serve both the purpose of maximizing returns for the investment of surplus building fund monies as well as the purpose of financing the crossover project. The pastor told the court that the CHC board, Fung, and Baker Tilly engagement partner for the CHC account that year, Tiang Yi, knew about the dual purpose of the Extron bonds. When it came to the Ferna bonds, the dual purpose of the bonds was known to Fung and the CHC board. The court heard many times this week the question of CHC having full control or some control over Extron. This arose from an email written by Finance Manager Serena Wee to update CHC's Senior Pastor Kong Hee about the outcome of a meeting between Tan, Wee, and Baker Tilly Auditor Fung Dao Cheng. In the email, Wee had written down Fung's suggestions on how to represent the relationship between CHC and Extron in order to avoid consolidation of the two entities in the audits. The court had heard at this meeting, we had documented Fung's advice to show that CHC didn't have full control but only some control over Extron. He had also told Tan and Wee that there was no need to minute down everything that went on at the extraordinary general meetings. During his time on the stand, Fung had denied giving such advice. The prosecution accused Tan of using Fung as a magical shield to justify their actions and contended that there was no reason for Fung to give advice that amounted to concealing the relationship between CHC and Extron. Tan maintained his ground and told the court that he was present at the meeting and what Serena said was correct. The DPP further alleged that the decisions on financing for the crossover were made by Tan, Kong, Wee, and Chewing Han instead of the Extron directors. Tan reiterated his evidence that the Extron directors had signed off on the documents, which they would not do if they did not approve of the decisions. Tan pointed out that while the Extron directors were fully supportive of the crossover project, they had to decide if Extron wanted to bear the risk of issuing bonds to the church because they were ultimately responsible to pay back the amount with interest. Today in court, the prosecution put to Tan that Extron was set up as CHC's special purpose vehicle to manage the crossover project, and that Tan and Kong Hee had handpicked Extron's directors knowing that they would comply with what the pastors wanted. Tan agreed with the role of Extron as a special purpose vehicle, but with regards to the selection of Extron directors, Tan reframed the prosecution's put to reflect that these members were picked because they were spiritually mature and shared the vision of the crossover. The prosecution alleged that Tan was involved in concealing the related party status between CHC and Extron from the auditors. Tan explained that since Extron's purpose was not only to manage the crossover project but also the church's building project, it was better for staff like Serena Wee not to be in CHC and doing Extron's accounts at the same time. Tan said that what the prosecution insisted were attempts to cover up the relationship between CHC and Extron were really efforts to establish better corporate governance. The prosecution will continue its cross-examination of Tan on Monday, 6 April. This is Wayne Chung for City News Singapore.